question 1. In question 1, electricity and magnetism question paper. So in question 1, we have 5 sub-questions. So the question reads, explain with diagrams the application of the following equations. Okay, so they give the equation dF is equal to K times a Q, constant K, then you have a Q, then you have another dQ, then in the paper is written this way, as R, this, okay, power 2. So if you look at this formula actually represents a formula for Coulomb's law. So this formula can be written this way. Okay, it says, you can write it this way, dF is equal to K Q dQ over R squared. So that's the first thing you should realize. This is just a formula for Coulomb's law. So the question says, explain with diagrams the application of the following equation. So to explain with the diagram, since you have two charges, charge 1 and charge 2, what you can just do is that you can draw a simple diagram. Okay, you draw a simple diagram like this. Then you're going to put charge 1, which is Q here, and you're going to put the Q there. You're going to put a separation distance of what? Of R. Okay. Then you can maybe set R to 5 or whatever length that you want. So it says explain with diagrams the application of the following equation. So we know that we have used this diagram. Okay. So what we're going to do is that we're going to explain this formula. Okay. So we know that this is Coulomb's law. So we're going to define Coulomb's law, and then we're going to talk about what this formula is used for. So here you just simply write the definition for Coulomb's law. Okay. So firstly saying this is the governing equation for Coulomb's law. Okay. It's the governing equation. This is the governing equation for Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law used to calculate electrostatic force. Electrostatic force between point charges. Between point and variable charges. But so you have to stress that between two, okay? Between 2 points and between 2 points, because you can calculate for 2 points of variable charges. So calculate for electrostatic force between 2 points of variable charges. Okay. So after that, you can probably just define Coulomb's law also. So Coulomb's law, you define Coulomb's law here. Okay. So just define Coulomb's law, you say what it is used for, you draw a simple diagram. Then if you want, you can do a simple calculation. Okay. But this is sufficient enough for an answer. Okay. So you can just define Coulomb's law here. Okay. And if you want, you can do a simple calculation. So to do a simple calculation, you're just going to assume that both charges are equal, or both charges are point charges. So meaning their size is going to be 1.6 times 10 to the power negative what to the power negative 19. Okay. So if you wanted to do that, you just simply saying the F length K, then you say Q dQ over R squared. So using the diagram that we've made here, we're giving it to our separation distance between the two charges is going to be 5 meters. Okay. So what we're going to do is just say dF is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught multiplied by the first charge times the second charge over R squared. So this is what the formula will come to. You're going to say dF is equal to 1 multiplied by 4 times 22 over 7 multiplied by 8.85 times 10 to the power negative 12, which is the size of the epsilon naught. Then you're going to say times the size of the Q. So since the Q is having the same size, so we'll just say 1.6 times 10 to the power negative 19, all of this what? Squared. Okay. then you're going to say over 5 meters squared. So you punch all these numbers into the calculator, whatever you're going to find, that is going to be the answer. So basically, I just saying explain the equation using a diagram, but I think you can just put a few notes here, not a lot of notes, just a few notes, draw a diagram, explain a few notes, maybe do a simple calculation, and that's how you would have answered question I or question 1 in the June 2023 question paper. So you are going to do pretty much the same thing for all the questions. Okay. So when you go to the second part, or the second part of the question, they're going to ask you to calculate